The last topic that I really want to cover about how you handle your vacation and how you make it productive, like incredibly productive, deals with this idea of how to properly authorize things.
And when you think about authorization, the key there is to answer the question of how does the work happen in your office? Now, at this point, if you've even implemented some of the things that I've been talking about over the last several modules, you're going to have a lot of data. And what sort of things can you expect to hear from that data or see in that data? Well, hopefully, the information that you've gathered as you've gone out of the office and put these systems into place, it will help you answer a whole series of questions.
You get to ask who can work without continuous oversight. You get to ask who is going to give me the best information, the right information that I need once I get back into the office. Who can manage other people and lead when I'm not around? I'm always reminded of Ted Williams, who was probably one of the greatest hitters of the 20th century, baseball. He was the last person to bat 400, which is a very high batting average, for an entire season. And he did it in the 1940s, and it's now 2017, so it's been a minute, and nobody's done it since him. But he couldn't teach anybody how to hit. It's a little bit of that Peter principle that I mentioned before. Who are the good managers? Who are the good leaders? And when you answer all of those questions, how do we go out and hire those people? If you have somebody named Jane who is fabulous in her job, how do you hire another Jane? How do you find another Jane? Maybe you ask Jane. Maybe Jane knows something. Whatever the method is, but you got to identify that and have quantifiable metrics so that you can go and say, not, I want somebody like Jane. You want to be able to say, I would like someone who understands these 5 things, which Jane understands, because those things make Jane a good employee. That's helpful to know. That's easier to duplicate, and that's an achievable goal.
Answering these questions will help you figure out exactly what people in your office can do and what they should be doing. But there's a lot more to think about with regard to making sure people are doing the right jobs. And similarly, there's a lot to be lost if you don't properly learn the lessons you should be learning from this work.
The failure to authorize others leads to one of the biggest traps that I see small business owners falling into all the time. All the time. And that is the undervaluation of your time. About 2.5, 3 years ago, I was dealing with someone who I was pitching them, I was trying to get them to hire me as a business consultant. And they were describing to me their workflow and how they had reduced the number of employees. And then at one point they said to me, well, on some of these jobs, I just stay after hours and I get them done. And what I said to him was, at some point, you are losing because you are undervaluing your personal time. Every minute you spend at the office is a minute that you're not doing something else that could be more productive. Productivity in that regard is very broadly defined. It's time that you don't spend with your children. It's time you don't spend playing golf. It's time you don't spend on vacation. It's time you don't spend developing new products. Whatever it is, if you're doing small projects by yourself that other people can be doing or should be doing, then you need to evaluate why you're doing that. Why are you involved in that? Because you're not valuing your time? If you were charging what your time is worth as the president of the company, would you be still doing that work? Probably the answer is no. And so you need to take a look at how you can fix that situation so that you're either A, not doing that work as a company, or B, getting somebody to do the work for you and actually charging for it. Those are problems that small business owners always have. And the problem with that is a way to start burning the candle at both ends and leading to extreme dissatisfaction with your job and your life. And that's the last thing I want from you. Instead, I'd rather see you empower the people around you. And if people are unable to get things done or not willing to do things, ask yourself, why are we doing them? Now, don't get me wrong. I could spend a lot of time talking about employee motivation because a lot of small business owners completely misunderstand what motivates the employees that work for them. Sometimes things need to be done whether people want to do them or not. I'm sure most of us, if we didn't want to, we wouldn't pay taxes. That doesn't mean we shouldn't pay taxes, and that doesn't mean that we won't pay taxes. Instead, when you try to figure out who should be authorized to do what, some people really enjoy the picayune, detail-oriented things. Other people don't enjoy them. See if you can get the tasks to line up with what people like. And sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. And sometimes there's a certain amount of stuff that just needs to be done. You can't avoid it. But instead, use this as an opportunity when you're going out of town, when you're unavailable, to take that higher level look and make sure people are doing what they want to be doing. And as part of that, how good are your job descriptions for each of the people who are working for you? If you're like your standard business, small business, heck, the large businesses also have this problem. Job descriptions change, and they change a lot, and they move a lot. So what I would suggest is, remember, I've said in prior segments, it's important to write down what people are doing. And as people write things down, they write down the way that they're doing things. It allows you to A, understand what they're doing, B, see if they understand what they're supposed to be doing, which may be two completely different things. 3, C, I hate when people do that, C, it'll allow you the opportunity to see if that's truly the highest and best use of their time. And D, it allows you to make suggestions to improve the way they're doing things and to improve their project performance. Now, there's a couple other things it does too. E, it allows, if they're out, we were talking about you taking vacation, but other people are going to leave the office too every once in a while. E, if those people leave, it allows someone to step into their role temporarily, or if they're gone forever, a little bit longer term, to actually perform their job as best possible. And F, if you need to hire someone to do their job, you have some idea of how it can be done. You don't just have to have them shadow this person for a week to figure out what needs to happen. It allows you to see what that person's doing. And if that person's doing the job really well, sometimes they worry, if you have people writing down what they do, that you're trying to fire them. What I always talk about it is, you're helping me promote you so that I can get somebody else to do what you're doing, and I'm going to find more higher level, more interesting things for you. That process, that approach, which is iterative and can take a long time, will lead to your business not only being a happier place because you'll be able to make sure that people are doing the things that they, as much as possible, like doing, but it also adds some very concrete value to your business because it promotes continuity, it promotes efficiency, it promotes effectiveness. And when it comes down to it, when it comes to a new owner, it promotes transferability. Somebody's more likely to buy a business if everybody already knows their job because they are following the manual. And let me tell you, for some people, creating a manual is just so counterintuitive, such an anathema to what they do and how they live. But this is a way for you to create a productive business, create value in your business and make the business more valuable without developing a new product, without hiring a bunch of new people, and without changing much, but systemizing how you know what people are doing.
And so those are just the beginnings of some ways in which you can, using your review of the systems you've created, figure out not only how to authorize the right people to be doing the right things, but also who those people are and what those right things are. We've finished the majority of the course. All that's left is a wrap-up, which we will get to in the next module. So thank you for sticking with us this far. Only a little bit more to go, and we'll see you in the next module.